Welcome, everybody, to yet another episode of PotLuck Podcast. And this is your butthurt disclaimer.
Parental and or sponsor advisory. Our goal is to offer a recovery-based podcast with a twist of humor. The expressions and opinions voiced here are those of the individual speaker and are not of the collective. Our primary purpose is to carry the message and to help others achieve sobriety. We don't feel the need to be original. We certainly don't want to be extra crispy.
All right. Again, I say welcome. We appreciate everybody. My name's Martin.
My name is Anthony.
And my name is Sean, and we'll open this podcast with the set-aside prayer. God, please help me set aside everything I think I know about myself, about others, about my recovery, and about you, God, so that I may have an open mind and new experiences. God, please help me see the truth. Amen.
Amen. So, guys, guess what?
Chicken
What?
butt.
I am going to try my hand at golf today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to find out if or if not I am the next Tiger Woods.
Yeah, I've seen you walk around, and I could be wrong, but you don't seem very golf inclined.
I mean, I've got long arms, long legs. I think I might have a swing. I don't know. I'll find out today. I've never swung at a golf ball in my life.
Well, at least we're not shooting them.
Right? That was my bad.
Different sport.
Yeah, I told the fellas today that I would be shooting some golf balls when, in fact, I'll be
Driving them.
driving them. Yes.
Uber.
What's called a driving range.
Driving
Not a
range.
shooting range.
Facts. Facts.
We may
You'll have
see you
that.
on the 6 o'clock news if otherwise.
Yeah. For being the world's greatest golfist.
Well,
Is golfist a word?
Word of the day, golfist.
Like it.
Yeah.
we digress.
Yes, we do. So what are we talking about today?
I feel like before we start, we should go ahead and throw a little grateful in there real quick.
Yes. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Well, my name is Anthony, and today, I'm grateful that God seen fit to pluck me out of a hell that I created.
Wow. Yeah. I am grateful today for waking up.
Amen. And I'm grateful for being pluckable today.
That
Amen.
is awesome.
Amen.
So, thank you again for liking and subscribing. Our subscriber list is growing,
Yes.
and sharing, of course. And
Sharing is caring.
yeah, right. And your comments, we could use your comments now, you guys. Comment, please comment. We didn't get very many comments this time, and your comments matter because they help us grow.
Feedback is important.
Yes, feedback is very important.
I want to hear some gratefuls from you all.
Yeah, there was only one grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah. When y'all comment, what we're asking is for one grateful, just one grateful from everyone that comments. So make your comment and a grateful, and we'd be grateful for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Indubitably.
Okay. So back to my original question. What are we talking about today? We didn't really get into step 2 last week.
No, we did not.
Sean?
I am.
Oh, you are fill in the blank.
Dear diary, take notes.
Amen. My life is a lot more manageable, as well as the podcast.
I don't know about that.
Martin?
Anthony?
Sean.
Cut.
Shit.
No.
Yeah,
No,
it's done.
No, we're gonna keep.
Oh, we're
going.
here.
We're gonna keep doing. This is wonderful
we're
right
doing
here.
this.
We're
Okay.
doing this.
We're
buddy.
doing this.
We're doing
Semi-live.
this. All right.
My thing ain't working right either, guys.
Man, he's a doctor, brother.
Oh,
Damn it.
Sean's the only one that's got a good mic. So just a little tidbit, I guess, a little FYI, if you guys will. I broke the stand of my mic earlier, apparently somehow, don't know, and now Martin has as well.
No, mine's not broke. It's definitely it's just a little loose. That's all.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, no, no.
Yeah,
I can fix it.
I
You
can.
can't fix yours.
Oh, I can fix it. I just gotta get a different nut.
Yeah.
Anyway, back at the Batcave. So I want to talk about how well, not just me, but how we uh really came to believe that there was a power greater than ourselves. Because I know for me, um, when I got into the programs, when I first started this journey, uh, I didn't. I believed that there was something, but not sure what it was. Wasn't sure how to really get to that point. You know what I mean? And my perception on life was real blurred. Does that make any sense? And so for me, like I always knew I had a problem. You know what I mean? But I never really thought enough about it to ask for help from anything greater than myself. Because for the longest time, I felt like I was God. You know what I mean? And just I would say I want to say a short period of time, but a couple months in is when I really started to grasp the concept that there is
Yeah,
a God out there. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
for a lot of people, especially in fresh in recovery, and that are you know non-believers, if you will, um, it's hard for them to grasp that concept, like it was for me. You know, so to me, I think that's real important, especially going into step two. You know what I mean?
Well, for me, when I realized there was a power greater than myself, when I went to rehab for recovery, I the place that I went to, I actually had a spiritual awakening, and that same week I had my first spiritual experience, and through those, I did a lot of praying along the way, and I didn't have the strength before then. I prayed for the strength to be able to make it through this,
Mm.
and I absolutely before then did not have that strength.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
tried to uh, clean up before and showed my weakness right off the bat.
Yeah.
But this time, with the power of prayer, uh, he gave me that strength,
Yeah.
and it was very noticeable because never was it so easy for me to do the hard things that I did along this journey. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, it does.
And I could have only done that with his help in giving me strength to do just that. Because my mind, um, without that strength, would have been to go back out.
Yeah.
And now I'm so happy where I'm at that I have no intentions on going back out. Not to say that it can't happen,
Yeah.
but I'm stronger today than I would have been without that.
Yeah.
So that's
Absolutely.
how I discovered there was a power greater than myself
Yeah.
because I prayed for it, and that higher power I choose to call God. And like I said in previous episodes, I've built a personal relationship with God. I've always known who God was, but I have built a personal. Me and God have a personal relationship together, and you know, I like to think that He's very proud of His work with me. So
Absolutely.
that's my story. Sean,
Thank you, Martin,
you're welcome, Sean.
also known as the Chocolate Martini. Uh, came to believe. I think that I came about that with the previous experience I had uh, in the meeting where the gentleman was so factual, and he was. I think, man, he just enjoyed his life at this time, you know. And I had I'm sure I had some sort of qualities in myself. I just never really did see them, wasn't aware of them. There were more deficiencies or defects of character. Well, I come to find that I was just a defected character and all. Uh, and there wasn't much that I saw in myself that I liked. Okay. So, and I had either read it or heard it in the books and in the meetings, death to the old self. And I had come to the conclusion that everything about me needed to change. So that, in combination with the instance in the meeting with the gentleman that had been so firmly spoken about the journey being done with God, uh, the help and prayer that I received in changing all these things about me that I wasn't so pleased with, uh, I think that is where I became to be able to believe in a power greater than myself. Um, the notion that was lent in the very beginnings, in the early visits in the rooms and whatnot, are with your a God of your understanding. It kind of strayed me really now that I think back on it, because I kept trying to look at the oak tree because it was big and strong and it was always there every day, or the
Yeah.
sun because it was always bright. You know what I'm saying? Whatnot. It always made daylight. Or some people like the doorknobs. Electricity. All this, that, and the other. And I just never could really grab onto it, so that I would just give up.
Yeah.
You
The
know.
doorknob kind of made sense though, because turn your life around.
Yes, and it also
Yeah.
turns on you.
Oh, wow.
So, well, you got.
Got me there.
But I will say though, it's still a power greater than yourself, because without a doorknob, you're not opening no doors. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So I
Facts.
mean, I'm not saying that it's a good, but I mean, it's
Well,
still.
see, and that's the thing about. All right, I'm gonna step out on this limb. The rooms of the recovery rooms. It allows me to crack that door open and just kind of peek inside.
Yeah.
And depending on the level of my open mindedness and willingness and honesty, okay, honesty, open mindedness, and willingness, which is also known as the how,
Yeah.
uh, that kind of determines, what I see when I crack that door open. Uh, when when I did crack that door open finally, and the benefits that come from it, the change in my perspective and my that psychic change occurred like almost instantaneously. The way I thought wasn't the same. When
Right.
that happened, I guess you could say I kicked the door open. Like
Yeah.
I wanted so much more of it.
Yeah.
You know, uh, and that set aside prayer we started with, along with Mr. Clarence Snyder's third step prayer, along with the bondage of self. Was that the third step prayer? Is that the same prayer, just shortened?
Yeah. Really being
Yeah.
the bond of yourself.
So in this here fat book I have, and if you haven't heard or experienced that, it's strongly suggested and highly recommended. Um, it's got the long form of Clarence Snyder's third step prayer, and I will share that right now.
Please do, Sean.
Because it is kind of how it went for me. I wasn't sure I wanted all that to take place, but I asked, could you do it anyway?
Yeah.
Okay, so I digress. Dear God, I come to you in the name of Jesus. Please take over the management of my life, my affairs, and everything about me. I am making this conscious decision to turn my will and my life over to your care, and am asking you to please take over all parts of my life. I surrender my will to your will and ask you to take over the decision making for me, because I haven't done too well on my own. Thank you, Jesus, for understanding how hard it is for me to give myself up. Please, God, move into my heart through Jesus, your Son, the one who died for me, and when you raised, and the one who died for me, and whom you raised from the dead. How you fill my awful emptiness. Look, I'm going to have to start that over.
Need glasses?
Please, God, move into my heart through Jesus, your Son, the one who died for me and whom you raised from the dead. How you do it is your business, but make yourself real inside me and fill my awful emptiness. Fill me with your love and your Holy Spirit, yourself to me. And oh, my Lord, this mic is in my way, bro. We're going to have to edit this, all right?
No, just do this.
I'm double
Do this.
vision.
Look,
Okay.
do this. Bring
Yeah,
it down
but
and
my
up.
right, hey.
There you go. You're welcome.
Once again,
We apologize for the inconvenience, fellas.
dear God, I come to you in the name of Jesus. Please take over the management of my life, my affairs, and everything about me. I am making this conscious decision to turn my will and my life over to your care, and am asking you to please take over all parts of my life. I surrender my will to your will and ask you to take over the decision making for me because I haven't done too well on my own. Thank you, Jesus, for understanding how hard it is for me to give myself up. Please, God, move into my heart through Jesus, your Son, the one who died for me and whom you raised from the dead. How you do it is your business, but make yourself real inside me and fill my awful emptiness. Fill me with your love and Holy Spirit and make me know your will for me. And now, Lord, help yourself to me and keep on doing it. I'm not sure I want you to, but do it anyhow. I rejoice that I am now part of your people, that my uncertainty is gone forever, and that you have control of my will and my life. Thank you for saying in your word that you'll never leave me or forsake me. Praise your name. Amen.
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 That is a good prayer.
So, like, for me, like Martin said, and like Chandra said too, I had prayed for something I wasn't even sure really would get answered or any of that. You know what I mean? So I can actually recall I would have been at this program for like 2.5 months, and I had my first spiritual experience. So the night before, when I went to sleep, I prayed, for some type of sign that something was out there. You know what I'm saying? And so my routine every morning was I get up. You know what I'm saying? I would pray. I would make some coffee, and I would sit on the porch and smoke a cigarette. And so I got done praying. I made my coffee. I was sitting outside, and I'm sitting outside and smoking a cigarette, and everything just seemed brighter. So have you seen the movie The Bill Story?
Yep.
No, I haven't seen it.
No. Well, in the movie, uh, Bill's in the hospital, and he has his first awakening or experience, if you will, in this situation. He's laying in the bed, and then it was like a light kicked on, and then he like had an epiphany at that moment. Um, it was similar to that, only obviously it wasn't like a light right over my head like it is in the movie. You know what I mean? But everything just seemed brighter, and it seemed like it's like I had a genuine compassion and like concern for someone else, and that was the first big part of my spiritual awakening. You know what I mean? Because before I didn't have that. Like I said, I didn't really care about anyone. I didn't even care about myself. So
Right.
when I had prayed about that, not knowing, what I'm saying, not at that point when I was praying for it, I really didn't even know. Like Sean said, I wasn't sure if that's what I wanted. Does that make sense? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And it was like once I did pray for that, and once it did happen, I guess for me it was that at that moment was when uh, my perception started to change. You know what I'm saying? I can remember like it was yesterday. Like we went to class that day, and all day long that's all I talked about. You know what I'm saying? Because it was so moving. You know what I'm saying? It was like that. You get that calm feeling. You know what I'm saying? That something was there. You know what I mean? And it had to have been something greater than me because you don't just get that feeling, just get it randomly unless you pray for it. And at that
Yeah.
it was at that moment that I realized like yeah, there is definitely something that's helping me do this. You know what I mean?
I had a couple of other experiences. One, I was actually laying in the bed, and all I did was I just said, "Thank you, God." And like immediately after, man, it's really almost indescribable. It was like I had been covered up or poured over with some sense of feeling I have not felt ever
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
or since. It was just like I was being washed in this. It was just a wonderful feeling, you know. And I remember this smile coming on my face, and I was like,
You couldn't help it.
"No,
Yeah.
no, I really could not."
Yeah.
And then I've heard people in the rooms speak of that moment when your head, pardon the language, when your head pops out of your ass. So I'm sitting in a meeting, and there's this female sitting behind me, and you can hear like behind you what side this noise is coming from.
Yeah.
Whether they're doing the reading or sharing, whichever, I don't really recall which one. But they were speaking, and I could hear them on my right shoulder. And all of a sudden, it's like they moved to my left ear, and I looked up. I was like, anybody else hear that? You know?
Yeah.
And I like to think it's when my head popped out of my ass. Really, like, because I had heard that you might even hear a sound, and that was the sound I heard. She did not move. She was still in the same place. You know what I mean? And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like it was, yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was duly noted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just like Anthony said, like when I had my first spiritual awakening, um, I too seen everything like brighter and clearer. It was I mean it was very noticeable.
Yeah.
Like I mean I knew that's what it was when I seen it because
Yeah.
I was looking through my eyes and I felt like I was looking through God's eyes after that because everything was so the same stuff I was looking at,
Yeah.
but it was much cleaner, crisper,
Yeah.
I think those are
detailed.
called
More vivid.
rose-colored glasses.
More vivid. Yes.
That's a great song, by the way.
Yes. It is.
Never heard it, I don't think.
Really, you never heard the song, but yet you knew the song title.
Hmm.
That's interesting, Sean. So yeah, everything was everything was more crisp and clean and clear and just a calm came over me. Like I got this, I can do this. No,
Yeah.
it was just and of course the chill down the spine.
Yeah.
I
I'm getting it
did
right
get the
now.
yeah I
I'm getting it
got
right now.
that. I get that a lot now, especially during prayer
Yeah.
and when prayers are answered.
Yeah.
This journey that I'm on in life has been so precise.
Yeah.
Like I can tell that he's got a plan for me and he's put me on this journey because things have been happening in my life so exact on time, from one thing to the next.
Yeah.
It, I don't know how to, like you said, it's indescribable, man.
Yeah.
It's, but it feels great, and I
Yes.
know that's what
Yeah.
it is because I get that chill. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so that's the let go, let God thing is it works. It really does. You
Yeah.
have to let go and let God.
Yeah.
You can't half-ass it. But I learned that because I'm an Aries. I
Yeah.
know in episode 1 I said I was stubborn.
Yeah.
Um, I am very stubborn. You
Yeah.
can tell me not to touch the fire. I'm going to touch it just to see how hot it is. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the let go and let God thing. I let go completely and surrendered myself completely. And why would I let that? Why would I give that up?
Right.
I have everything I want, everything I need. I don't need none of this extra shit. I got everything I need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Including the fellowship and just I changed my people, places, and things. And I mean, my life is grand. I mean, I'm not saying it's trouble free. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm
Yeah. Of course.
everybody has stuff
It's
they're going
it's
through,
supposed to hurt.
but it's easier to go through it without having to use a substance to be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Because my substance now is God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a great thing, man.
Yeah. The other thing is like at that moment it was a genuine appreciation for all things living. You know what I'm saying? And not just all things living, but just everything in general. Like you said, that crisp, that vivid,
I got
Like
all
it's just
excited just talking about it.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
all
yeah,
sitting up and
yeah.
into it
But
now.
but you know that feeling that you get, like it's like you said, it's indescribable, and even more so, like that's what I chase now. It's not, before it was, let's chase the next high, let's chase the next whatever, you know what I mean? But today it's a substance that's not, it's not man made, it's not something that I use
It's a
in
spiritual
it's a spiritual
substance.
substance,
Yeah.
absolutely, and like that, that's one of the things that I'm grateful for today is that spiritual warfare that you have, that free will, that choice. You know what I'm saying? That to power to be able to choose. You know what I'm saying? Because if we were all perfect, right? Like say, the whole Adam and Eve thing never happened. Say we were just perfect. I feel like life would be boring. We wouldn't have no issues. There wouldn't be no problems. You know what I'm saying? And that right there,
The
like
word adventure would
it,
not exist.
absolutely. You know what I mean? We would just be completely boring. And like I said just a minute ago, this shit right here is supposed to hurt. It's supposed to hurt. It's a gift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The whole point of him, you know, giving us the power of choice was a punishment. But that punishment is a gift. You know what I'm saying? Suffering is a gift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's supposed to hurt.
Yep.
It's if everything just felt good all the time, you know, where would it really be considered life then?
Right. There wouldn't be no other side to anything.
Right.
Right. I
You
get
know
it.
what I mean? So it's like for me, like I that spiritual warfare, like I'm grateful for that today. I'm
Yeah.
grateful for that. Should I do this or should I do that? That little guy sitting on your shoulder, and the little devil sitting on this side. Like I love that battle. You know what I mean? I love it. And as long as I keep choosing to do the next right thing, as long as I keep choosing to, because like they say, you want to do God's will, but nobody knows exactly what God's will is. But I know what it's not. You know what I'm saying? And as long as I just don't do what it's not, I feel like I'm aligned. My belief anyway. I'm aligned pretty well with His will, even if I don't know what it is.
Right.
You know what I
It's
mean?
like I have another analogy to that. It's like they say you got to be on this path. Well, I might not be right on the trail on that path. I'm off to the side a little bit in the woods, but I'm going the right direction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like being especially those that are fresh in recovery. Even really with me, like I'm not saying that I don't want to say I've got this nipped in the butt. You know what I'm saying? I don't have this thing 100% because we're all just one bad decision. It doesn't matter if you got 30 years, 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, 20 days. It doesn't matter. We're all just one bad decision away from ruining what we have. But
Facts.
but it's like as long as I just keep praying, keep meditating, keep talking to my sponsor, keep going to meetings, keeping that connection, that constant
Service work.
service, where all that,
Staying sober just
all
for
that,
today.
just for today. Like as long as I do that just for today, I know today I'll be all right. My ex-wife used to tell me, she said the only thing we can do as human beings that's perfect is not get high. And I was like, I didn't understand that because it's like you can't do anything perfect. But you think about that, like even if I have a thought to get high and I don't get high, I did that perfectly. You know what I'm saying? That is literally the only thing that we can do as a human being is just not get high today.
Facts.
Yeah, I'd like to touch on that service work
All right,
because
Sean.
that was a very intricate part as well, in allowing me to believe that something different was possible. Because when I was out there using or whatever, I was absolutely burning up them reward receptors in my brain. You know, the feelings of good.
Yeah.
When I was upset about whatnot, I go use something and I feel good.
Yeah.
You know, so I was under the assumption that I had burnt them up, like they wasn't coming back
Yeah.
unless I used. That was the only way to feel good again.
Right.
Uh, y'all remember being a kid, like whatever, and you do something, and you would just have this sense of good feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You would just have a good feeling. You
Yeah.
know, like cleaning your room or something. Mama didn't ask you to.
Yeah.
I
But
actually still have those. Like the other day, I did some stuff around the house uh, before my significant other came back, and you know, Didn't say nothing about it till she seen it, and I got that that good feeling like, yay, I did something.
Right.
You know.
Well, service work is doing something without any expectation of anything in return.
Yeah.
And once I had started doing that, I did get these feelings, and there was not even anybody around. I'm just sitting at the counter out here at the coffee counter, and just this overwhelm of good feeling come over me, and I was like, man, they're not dead. You know what I mean? Like, I can have a sense of feel good again,
Yeah.
without putting one in me.
Yeah.
So I mean, that between service work, the prayer life, turning to God, the meetings. I mean, that's why I emphasize all these little, it's like that machine with the gears. You know, I see the gears as God, prayer, service work, meetings, working with other
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
with problems,
They're all different cogs that
Just
make the
Right.
being a
machine
good
go.
friend is
talking
one.
with your sponsor, using the fellowship.
Yeah.
All of these are intricate parts.
Yeah.
And they need to be well, used well, or it's just like not greasing that one gear in that machine.
Yeah.
And once that gear goes bad, the whole machine's shot.
Right.
You know, and a lot of times when some of us go back out, a lot of times the same questions are asked when we come if we make it back.
Yeah.
Same questions are asked. Well,
Yeah.
what was your prayer life like? Oh, well, I wasn't praying. Well, was you talking to your sponsor? No, I quit calling my sponsor. Was you going to meetings? No, wasn't going to meetings. I mean, it is, and like I've probably shared this before in the podcast. I know I've shared it in meetings, but I can feel myself kind of getting funky or whatnot. Having an off feeling, and I need to take that inventory of them little components and see what it is that I'm missing on.
Inventory.
Honestly, here recently it's been the prayer life, and it's been, I ain't been getting in my scripture. Them doubts creep in, them lies, the devil, you know, and I need to get that arrested as quick as I can, because the longer I do not, them lies become stronger.
Well, you're never alone. You just phone call away, man, and
Yeah.
we can get together on it. That's
So
always a good thing, having the fellowship to be able to do that with you. If you're going through something, uh, it really does. I've always stressed the fellowship part because it does work with fellowship. If you feel like you're going to go through something, call somebody. Make that call, because that somebody may be going through something where they need somebody to be thinking about them. And the fact that you called them, boom, that solves two problems at once.
and you're probably helping them too by
Yeah.
you know what I mean, by calling them and asking for help.
I mean,
'Cause
they
who
may
knows, they could
they
be doing.
might have prayed for help, and your call is the call that they were that they
Yeah,
needed to
needed.
get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when I was at, one of the treatment centers I was at, they asked what the difference between religion and spirituality was. Uh, Thinking back on my answer, it really it's kind of the same thing. You know what I mean? But for those who, like myself, who were struggling between the two, you know what I mean? Because uh, spirituality is definitely uh, different than religion. You know what I mean? For those of you that are struggling with spirituality because you think it is uh, religious, though it can be religious.
Are you getting ready to read a Woody's Goodie?
Yeah.
All
So
right,
this.
Woody's Goodie.
Good morning, Wood.
So
This is a actual segment that we have started called Woody's Goodies. So
so
Also known as Good Morning, Wood.
I don't like that one. That one is just okay. Well, we'll go with it. But
so
Woody's Goodies.
this I've googled the difference between spirituality and religion.
Giggle.
Giggled, yes, sorry, giggled. And this is what I was given. So religion typically involves a structured set of beliefs, practices, and rituals often associated with an organized community or institution. Focus on a higher power or a deity. Spirituality, on the other hand, is a broader, more personal journey of seeking meaning, purpose, and connection with something larger than oneself, which may or may not be tied to a specific religious tradition. So, like spirituality for me, when I first started, was helping somebody, service work. Uh, you know, for me, it started off like I would just hold the door for somebody. Even if they're like, a couple minutes from walking in the door and I see him coming, I'll stand by the door, wait for him to come in. You know what I mean? Because what would a higher power do? You know, what would God do? What
What would?
would God do? You know what I'm saying?
What would
and,
he
and
do?
for
What
me,
would he do?
What would he do?
right, right, exactly. And
Another
for
segment. What would he do?
What would he do?
me,
No, what would he?
What would he do?
for me, like I struggle with that because me being spiritual is they say you miss the spiritual part of the program, then you miss the whole thing. And, for me, it started off just doing something nice for somebody else without, like you said earlier, just without expectation of anything in return. And then it gradually got to the point where like I do things without thinking about them. You know what I'm saying? As far as like good things, you know what I mean? And it may help somebody, it may not. I'm not really sure. A lot of it does, I think. But I just do them naturally now. And to me, that is spiritual growth. You know what I mean? Uh, because before I wouldn't care to hold the door open for someone when they're coming in. It didn't matter if you're standing right by the door. You know what I mean? I'd let the door shut. You know what I mean? If I'm on an elevator and so I see someone
How
trying to get on
rude.
and it's about to cut, but that's how it was. You know what I mean? That's how it was for me. I didn't care. You know what I mean? I can recall there was a time, I was in the madness and I was in a hospital and I was on the elevator and I seen this woman. She had two children with her. She was coming to the door. She asked me to hold the door and I closed it. That's the kind of person I was when I was in the madness. I didn't care. I don't care if you got women. I don't care if there's women there. I don't care if there's kids there. I didn't care about anything, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but today, even if she had not asked me to hold the door or open the door for her, I'll open it for her. I'll
Right.
make sure she's able to get in that door, especially because she has kids. Especially because when I had my kids, I would want someone to do that for me. You know what I'm saying? And for me, that to me it was a sign of spiritual growth. Uh, Another way, I was explaining to you before, I used to be a hothead, real short tempered.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And today, I've been described as calm. You know what I mean? I've been described as like the way I handle certain things. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, I still get mad. You know what I mean? I still do, but it takes a whole lot more to get me to the point of like really losing, what I'm saying, my cool than it has before. You know what I mean? Before you can just look at me wrong and I'm ready to fight. And today, like, it doesn't matter how you look at me. I don't. You know what I mean? The way you look at me doesn't affect what I do today.
So I got a couple things there. I'm gonna try to keep them all. Hopefully I don't lose any of them. Potato chip still ruffling out layers.
Ruffles.
Uh, so first,
Lays.
religion I understand or have heard. You know, religion is for people who don't want to go to hell. Spirituality is for people who have been to hell and don't want to go back.
I like it.
Amen to that.
Amen to that.
Because
Yeah.
I am spiritual. Okay. I'm the hot headed. Yesterday, I go to visit a dear friend in a place of recovery. They're in the early stages of it. Okay, so they're confined.
Yeah.
They get one visit a week for a mere hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and I go to visit them, and I had just woke up an hour previously. So I wake up at 2, and I head out that way. I get there about 5 or 10 till 3, and we actually lock eyes with each other. They're in the courtyard, I'm in the lobby. So, the anticipation of this visit has been there all week. So then once we lock eyes,
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a wonder whether, it was even going to happen. So we lock eyes and, there's a certainty, there's an expectation
Yeah.
that this visit is about to occur.
Yeah.
It's about that time for them to let me in for the visit. So the staff member comes through the door and points to the exit door and kind of ushers me to the exit door. Come, shim shim, kind of thing. And I'm like, okay. So I get up and I go out. And he's, get outside, and I said, this can't be good. He's like, yeah, no, it's not, and you're not gonna like it. And I'm like, he said, we've had a couple people say that you look intoxicated, and we can't let you in to see for the visit. And I'm approaching a year sober, clean and sober. This
Yeah.
is, I say this because it's not just clean.
Yeah, sober.
This is a different quality of life I've never lived.
Yeah.
Okay.
Facts.
And my life is so different today through God and God through me. Uh, my old self didn't come out.
Growth.
Oh yeah. Oh
Growth.
yeah. Because less than a year ago, we would have had new charges.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Definitely. If not, some definite unspiritual activity would have taken place.
Yeah.
Uh, and once I left, I just expressed my displeasure in the decision making and along with their policy,
Mhm.
because these individuals that expressed the concern about my intoxication was they were clients.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, you let clients dictate other clients' day, you
Right.
know. Uh, so I leave out of there, and of course, call my sponsor, and he was equally wowed by it. Um, less than even 6 months ago, I would have been teetotally peed off about it. It would have really, really rubbed me wrong, and I know what I'm like when I'm peed off, and that wasn't the case really. I was disturbed by it.
Yeah.
I was disappointed. I was disheartened. I was
Yeah.
concerned for the friend.
Yeah.
You know, I know what it's like to be in there. I
Yeah.
know how hard it is to stay when nothing is going on.
Yeah.
When nothing I don't like occurs.
Right.
And then, like I said, to witness me in the lobby and to know without a doubt that this visit is about to take place, and then to hear the car fire up and him take off down the road and the visit not take place.
Yeah.
I was certain they were going to bail, if
Yeah.
not cop a charge
Yeah.
themselves. You know, so they did eventually call me, and we were able to talk, and they expressed the exact thing that I feared. About to leave, about to cop a charge. And I was like, look, I said, don't allow this to be this stumbling block that
Yeah.
it's intended to be, because that's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
It's I look at it like it was a test, and I'm glad that you actually brought this up. So Thursday night? No, it wasn't Thursday night. It was
Definitely not
Tuesday.
Thursday night.
It was Tuesday night.
There you go.
Tuesday night, I was at work, and one of my good friends, he came, to the line I was at, and he said, "I'm leaving at 8 o'clock." I'm like, "All right." I'm the only one that knows how to run. Well, there's one other person that knows how to run the machine that he's running, the way he runs it, and he too left at 8 o'clock. So I was the only one that was left to be the only one to go back there and run the machine. I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't fill me in on anything. He just, I'm leaving at 8, and then, he left. So I get to the machine when we came back from lunch at 8:30, and I realized why he left. So he too um, is on a journey of changing his life around, and the person that he was working next to uh, claims to be, but was not. And I say this, so I'm standing there, and I'm running these parts, and so the way the assembly line is set up is you run my machine first. I stack the parts here. He runs his machine right here. He's the finishing part of the parts that we were running. And I watch him standing there asleep on the park. You know what I mean? And it was rough. Now, mind you, my DOC was not that, but the behavior behind what he was going through
Got it.
was it affected me. Not in the sense of where like I wanted to go and use because that wasn't it. Obviously I you know I called someone, I talked to him, and I even told my buddy, I was like, listen, I'm not mad at you. I'm not like I would have left too. Knowing the situation, I definitely would have left too. Uh, but I didn't. Instead, uh, I didn't even really even say anything to the dude. Really, I just went to my supervisor. Like, listen, you got to move him. I'm not gonna get into why you need to move him. I don't feel comfortable working next to him. I need you to move him. And he did. He moved him. Initially that night, I ended up running the machine by myself for most of the night. I
Both
didn't
ends?
both ends.
Oh,
I
wow.
didn't leave work until almost 4:30 in the morning. But that right there for me is growth. Because no, I didn't go and use. You know what I'm saying? But also, uh, if it was me before, I would have just blooped all the way out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, why? How you gonna come to work like that? All this. It doesn't matter why you do it because I've been there before. You know what I'm saying? No, I wasn't. Sleeping there, but I at one point in time, you know, there was. You can definitely tell there was something wrong with me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So instead of being like that, I just asked him to be moved. He asked me, well, why do you need to move? It doesn't matter why I need you to move him. I just need you to move him, please. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If you don't move him, you have to move me. One of the two. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. I don't want him to get fired. I'm not in here to try and get him to lose his job. It's not. That is not important to me. What's important to me is my sobriety and protecting myself.
Yeah.
And by him standing there, it was. It started to hinder me for a minute.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that today. I'm grateful for, they say triggers. You know what I mean? And
Right.
a lot of people think that triggers don't exist, and a lot of people think they do. They do exist.
Yeah.
However, what you do with those triggers is, for me, what makes them non-existent or existent.
Facts.
Today, I'm not triggered by a lot of things that originally, when I first got in the program, triggered me to do. Uh, it that's growth. It took a lot of work to get there. It took a lot of time, prayer, you know what I mean, to get where I am. And I'm grateful for that. Because I'm telling you, Tuesday night, that was that stumbling block. That was that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you want this or do you not? My first initial thought whenever I was over after I witnessed this, it's not something I'm just talking about. Like I witnessed this full fledged with my own eyes. My first initial thought was to leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was like, bro, I need the money. You know what I'm saying? It's work. I'm let's just get this done. You know what I mean? And do it. Even if I even told him, even if I have to run the machine by myself, because there's only one other person that knows how to run his machine, and that's me.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I literally ran both ends of the machine. Now, granted, I did get help from one other person for just a minute. She was actually decent. You know what I mean? She was able to keep up with me. So it wasn't exactly entirely all just me, but the point I'm getting at is that I was able to calmly work through a, a speed bump, if you will.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Without really getting, even at the end of the night, even when I left at 4 o'clock in the morning, I was the last person to leave work, and even with that, I still wasn't in a bad mood. I still wasn't pissed off. I still didn't bloop out like I would have before. I just okay. I seen the obstacle I had to go, and I just went and did it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? The number was 400, and that's with two people. I hit 346, and most of that was by myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's to me that's growth. That is definitely a sign of growth.
Well, spirituality and religion for me, the difference thereof, uh, for me, just to make it simple, religion is telling me I need to be with a certain group to be the spiritual self that I am trying to be. And I don't feel like I need to belong to any specific group to be spiritual.
Yeah.
I'm the
Yeah.
type of person now that I've learned uh, about God and following the right path, anybody anywhere can do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a firm believer, and this, I also take a look at myself. Like when things happen in life, I always think to myself, how would I, the do unto others piece?
Mhm.
How would I want that to go towards me? Is how I want to put it out. You know what I
Right.
mean? And as long as I have that spirituality, I don't need to belong to any specific group. Now, church is fine. I do go to church.
Yeah.
However, I'm spiritual before and after church as well.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, uh, I know there are some religions out there that are not very spiritual, as far as biblical spiritual goes. Um, I'll leave that there. But yeah, so that's the difference between religion and spirituality for me, and it's worked. Like I said, I've built a great relationship with God. Me and God get along. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I like that. I like that. He's got my back like that,
Yeah.
and I would never forsake his bond with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, there was one other thing I wanted to actually talk about as far as that. So, point that me and Sean were just getting at, or the point I was getting at anyway. Uh, to me, there's a difference between someone that is living sober and someone that is just sober.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
For me, I like to say that I am living sober, and what I mean by that is it doesn't matter the amount of drugs or alcohol or any type of substance that's in front of me. I know for a fact I'm not going to use it.
The same here.
You know what I mean?
Same here.
To me, that is the difference between living sober and someone that is just sober. You know what I mean? Uh, I was talking to my sponsor. I had a good conversation with my sponsor yesterday, and we were talking about, you know, uh, first I asked him the same question that Sean asked me. Have you ever put forth the effort to work this program and relapse? And before I could even get into what I was my answer to that question, he was like, no. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really think about it, a lot of the people that put forth the effort that it takes to do this program, uh, they don't relapse. They say relapse is a part of recovery, but it doesn't have to be,
That's right.
and that is, to me, that is the absolute truth. Uh, so I was having this conversation with him, and he was telling me like, he's not perfect either. Uh, he was telling me like when he leaves work, he works at a pizza place. So when he's leaving work, it's right down the road from his house. And he's like, when he on the way to his house, he'll have these, he has to pray at that moment, that he goes just straight home. You know what I mean? Uh, I've too have found myself in the position to where I can either, especially when you get paid, it's do this or do this right here. You know what I mean? And for a while, I had to pray for that guidance. Should I do this or should I not? And today it's not. I don't. I'm not gonna say I don't have to pray for that because I still pray for guidance, but I don't have to. It's not a. It's not a. That's not a question for me. It's not a battle anymore for me as to where should I do this or should I do that. If I even think that should I do this or should I do it, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this right here. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And the talking to my sponsor, he's taught me a lot, a whole lot. He lives about 45 minutes from here. You know what I mean? So it's not someone I get to see as often as I would like to. But speaking to him on the phone, it's when we do talk on the phone, they're good conversations and they help. You know what I mean? And we were talking about the podcast, and he was explaining to me. He said that what we're doing as a foundation of trying to help somebody, because there are a lot of people that are stuck in between wanting to get help, not knowing how to get help, and then people who are in the process of getting that help are not sure if they want to stay or not.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I can recall for me being stuck like I know I want help. I know I want to do something different, but I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? And the seriousness behind these treatment centers that a lot of people are in, uh, like for me, it's not that I didn't want, like I said, I wanted something different, but I wasn't sure because of the way the seriousness behind the situation. Like, yes, it is very serious to want this. You gotta want this, absolutely. Even if you're not sure what you want something different. You will get to the point where this is what you want if you let it get to that point. That open-minded piece.
Yeah.
That open-minded piece is real important for me. It's just is important as honesty. You know what I mean? Because if I'm not honest with myself, I can't be honest with you either. You know what I mean? If I can't be open-minded to trying something different, if I can't be open-minded to spirituality, if I can't be open-minded to suggestions, then the honesty doesn't matter either.
All right. Well, before you get too far ahead of me there, the relapse piece.
Yeah.
For me, if you or Sean, and this goes for both of you, if you guys gifted me with a gold chain that you just spent $150 on just because you wanted to buy me a gift,
Right.
would you not be offended if I took that bracelet or charm or whatever and went to the pawn shop?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be offensive. The same way God gifted us with this life. He gave us this life. And a relapse for me is attempting suicide. Why would I want to kill something that God gave me to live with? You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And that's how I look at relapse now.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, even if I went back out, it wouldn't be the same as it was while I was in it.
Yeah.
And it is attempted suicide because I could potentially die,
Yeah.
especially these days with everything that's going around.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at relapse. I I was gifted this life by God, and I'm going to appreciate it and live it just like He intended me to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have no intentions on going to the pawn shop with it,
Yeah,
so to speak.
absolutely.
You
And
know what I
see,
mean?
I too look at it that way, but I also look at it in another sense too. For those of us that have relapsed numerous of times, because it's not just been several. You know what I mean? This time right here, like I said, I'm about going on 17 months sober. You know, uh, for those of you that have gone in relapse, that have went through that, you now have the ability to help someone in the sense of you could possibly potentially prevent them from making the same mistake that you made. For somebody that has gone through the program and not just gone through the program but continues to live the program and has never relapsed, to me they don't have the ability to speak on it because they haven't gone through it. For someone in a position like me that has relapsed several times, that has went to several different treatment facilities because they didn't get it the first time, or the second time, or the third time, or the fourth time. For someone that's only been in recovery for a short period of time and has only been to that first treatment center, we could potentially help them, prevent them from making that same mistake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's how I look at relapse. It's they say, your testimony, when you give your testimony, you know what I mean? It's what you've been through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's what makes our testimony a testimony. It's what makes it a test. Is going through that suffering part. You know
Break
what I
it
mean?
down.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that for me, that's what it is. Like, I look at relapse it's not only a lesson, but it is too a blessing because I could help somebody. We could help somebody potentially not ruin or not make that same mistake that I made or that we made. You know what I'm saying?
Sean?
So on the Martin, on the relapse and spiritual, I'm gonna collab with these, if you will. Uh, all this spirituality that I've gained or felt like I've gained, through my walk with Christ today. Uh, it, unlike Anthony, I leave a small margin of error that there is a possibility I can relapse, and that just for myself, uh, I feel like that's quite pertinent because absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
So if I was to relapse, all that spirituality dies. It's death to the spirit.
Yeah.
It's due in large part to the shame, guilt, and remorse.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going back into prayer life because of the guilt, the shame, and the level of remorse. And I kind of equate this to back in early childhood again. You know, you out running the streets, whatever, around the neighborhood, and you do something real stupid. Okay, and you know you're gonna be found out. But when you come home, you come through the door, mom and dad's on the couch or whatever, and you just look at the floor and go right past them real quick, like, I'm going to my room, going to bed. It's like 5 o'clock, I'm going to bed. They're like, oh, yeah. Well, that's kind of how it is if I would relapse, then I'm not trying to talk to God about what I did.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to tell my mom and dad about what I did because,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's just my take on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I I don't want to say it's not that I don't leave that little margin because like I said just a little bit ago, we're all just that one bad decision away from that. You know what I mean? For me, I have to keep in the forefront of my mind when I do anything, anytime I'm anywhere, at any point in time, what it was like for me before and after. You know what I mean? Uh, that point of me walking through, you know, downtown, holding shoes with bags on my feet, going to the dope man's house. You know what I mean? I don't want to know what that's like again, even though I know what it is like. Uh, everyone looking at you like, why are you carrying shoes on, in your hand? You got bags on your feet. You know what I mean? Make that make sense. Uh, I had to do that because I use the analogy now. Like if I can walk through downtown Louisville going to the dope man's house, why can't I walk through, you know, downtown now to get to a meeting?
Right.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've heard a saying used quite a few times in here. You don't know what you don't know until you know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And I believe I know now. This is the why we relapse. So the trouble is not with the law, for it is spiritual and good. This is Romans 7:14 through 24. By the way. So the trouble is not with the law, for it is spiritual and good. The trouble is with me, for I am all too human, a slave to sin. I don't really understand myself, for I want to do what is right, but I don't do it. Instead, I do what I hate. But if I know that what I am doing is wrong, this shows that I agree that the law is good. So I am not the one doing wrong, it is sin living in me that does it. And I know that nothing good lives in me, that is, in my sinful nature. I want to do what is right, but I can't. I want to do what is good, but I don't. I don't want to do what is wrong, but I do it anyway. But if I do what I don't want to do, I am not really the one doing wrong. It is sin living in me that does it. I have discovered this principle in life that when I want to do what is right, I inevitably do what is wrong. I love God's law with all my heart, but there is another power within me that is at war with my mind. Let me repeat that one. There is another power within me that is at war with my mind. This is the invisible war,
Yeah.
spiritual warfare. Oh, what a miserable person I am. Who will free me from this life that is dominated by sin and death? That one is God, who has all power. May you find him now.
Right. Yeah.
I rest my case.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He said, "Rest my case."
Absolutely. Yeah. That's like I was saying earlier. That spiritual warfare. I'm grateful for that. You know what I mean? Because you still have the choice. You know, like I said, I don't know what God's will is, but I know what it's not, and I know as long as I do the right thing, you know, yeah, a lot of people I hear a lot of people talk about they gotta pray before they do something. Yeah, yes, you do, absolutely you do, but it it doesn't have to be, on your hands and knees. You don't have to. Mine is just a simple conversation. Help me, help me. Even if that's all you know how to help me, and he's gonna help
Yeah,
you. You know what I mean? It,
definitely.
it may not be in the way that you expect it to be. A lot of times, it's not even in the way you expect it to be, but it will happen. I remember the first prayer that I ever prayed. It was literally, "God help me, please." You know what I mean? And he did, and he still does. You know, uh, today the prayer when I pray, it doesn't.
Mine was quite
It's
similar to that.
yeah, and for me when I pray, it's a simple conversation. You know what I mean? A lot of people say, "Well, he doesn't respond to you." He does. He doesn't speak to you in words in the sense of yes, you can hear him in your mind, but a lot of the times when my sponsor told me, he said when God speaks to you, he speaks to you through your heart. You know what I mean? And then the devil is most of the
He
time he
speaks
speaks
to
to
you
you
in
through your
many
mind.
ways.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Like
absolutely.
he speaks through me, through you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. So I was thinking about this. I've been thinking about this for a while. Right before you go do something, you know what I mean? You get that feeling like, oh, I probably should not do that.
That's it.
It's the God concept.
Yeah,
It's a lot like for women, it's that gut feeling. For men, it's still that gut feeling, but women initially have that intuitive, like what they call the women's intuition.
intuition.
You know what I mean? That's the God concept. You know what I mean? Because all living things are God. We are created in His image, uh, and with that, you know what I'm saying? I don't, if I got to pray about it, like I said, I'm not gonna do it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If I find myself in a situation where I even have to think like, should I do this? I'm not gonna do it. And that goes along with, like I said before, the point of living sober and then being sober. Because a person that's just being sober is they're gonna have to think about it. Like, should I do it? Should I not do it?
Right.
It's for someone living sober. Like, I'm just not gonna do it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna put myself in a position to jeopardize what I have. You know what I mean? Whether it be uh, me spiritually, whether it be me in you know my sobriety, it doesn't matter. I'm just not gonna do it. You
So
know?
on the cunning, baffling, and powerful aspect of the
Yeah.
disease, uh, and the progression of said disease,
Yeah.
uh, you know, just because I stopped using,
Yeah.
I stopped drinking, the progression still continues.
Absolutely.
It grows stronger by the moment. Uh, they say when we go back, when if we go back out, and we don't only pick up where we left off, which is a dangerous thing
Yeah.
because our tolerance isn't where it was then. Uh, it's worse
Yeah. Accelerates.
because the progression of the disease itself
Yeah.
has magnified.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
so the I think the best avenue or route for a successful program or journey in here is to magnify Christ in one's life, you know, and that can help or keep it arrested, you know. Uh,
I like that. Magnify. Yeah.
They say a lot of the times we try to fill a hole with drugs. We're trying to fill a God-sized hole with another substance. You know what I mean? A lot of the times that I'll say like I'm destroyed on the inside. You know what I mean? And with that, I now choose to fill that hole, those cracks that I have inside of me with God. You know what I'm saying? With doing the next right thing. Uh, I say that I'm destroyed on the inside, but the steps to me, the steps will break you down and then rebuild you. You know what I'm saying? With God's help, you rebuild yourself. You know what I'm saying? And when you do that, it replaces that suffering. It replaces the turmoil. It replaces the thoughts, the negativity with positivity. It fills it with God. You know what I mean? So you're literally rebuilding, and I feel like that's the reason of a spiritual awakening is to rebuild. You have a refined renewal of life. You know what I'm saying? You have a different perception. You have a different outlook on everything. Uh, like that's why for me it was so vivid. You know, have you ever, and I use this as an example too. You know, when you get out of jail, especially if you spent a good little minute in jail and you get out, to me everything looks dingy, everything looks dirty, and the reason why it looks dirty is because for so long you've been staring at these sterile white walls. You know what I'm saying? So when you get out, everything is dim and bleak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, that awakening is the exact opposite of that. You know what I'm saying? It's you see everything bright, you see everything more vivid. You have a better appreciation, a better understanding, a better understanding of oneself, of the way the world works, really. You know, and even if it's not necessarily of the way the world works, it's how you work. You know what I mean? I know what I don't want to be, and I know what I want to be. So I'm gonna continue to do what I want to be, and not where I was. I don't want to be that way. I don't. I like holding the door for people. You know what I mean? I like helping somebody.
Me too.
You know what I mean? That's what I strive to do today. That's the purpose that I live today is to help somebody. You know what I mean? As long as I don't harm whoever it is or whatever it is in that situation, you know, then I'm okay. You know, and that's the next thing. I'm okay with who I am today. It took a lot for me to get to that point. I hated who I was. You know, we talked about this before. I would never look in the mirror for 33 years. Well, for 32 years, 32 and a half years, I never looked in the mirror. You know what I mean? And then, you know, now every
You
time
were
I pass one,
anti-mirroristic.
yeah, absolutely, yes, absolutely. And now I look in the mirror any chance I get because I love who I am today. Taking a look at yourself, literally in a physical sense, and also in a spiritual and inner in an understanding sense. Taking a look at yourself is important. It's kind of like the concept, like before in the madness, when I walked, I always looked down. It was always like this.
I did that too.
Never had my held up, never. And then I've noticed that now
Now we
within
look
this,
up
we
more.
look up the whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. That's cool because I actually did that too. I always
Yeah,
walked with my head down.
always.
Yeah.
I was looking down at your
So
feet.
before we close on this, I'd like to ask a question. And that's referring to head held up and looking
Right.
down, kind of brought it to mind. Uh, the rearview mirrors,
Yeah.
because I've noticed I'm not in the rearview mirror or even the side view mirrors as often
Yeah.
as what I used to be. I always had the side view mirrors affixed to where I could
didn't
just
glance
glance at them and I could see,
Yeah.
you know, or I'm up in the rearview mirror, what's behind me, where they at,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So on that note, I just like to question or inquire, uh, how much time while driving are we more focused through the windshield?
All of it.
All of it. Yeah.
Yeah. You see, and it's crazy. Like now that you say that, my rearview mirror is actually adjusted to where when I look into it, I see myself. I don't see what's in the back.
Wow.
Yeah. I just thought about this. 'Cause the only reason why I realized that it's on the way back home last night, picking up my roommate. I remember looking up. You know what I'm saying? And initially you would think to see behind you, and instead I literally am looking at myself.
Hmm. Sometimes I feel like you don't care what's in the rear view, if you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely
Well,
not.
it's way back in the review, so
Yeah.
There's,
Yeah.
there's a reason why it's a rear view mirror.
I almost need a
It's
zoom
behind you. You
so
know
I
what I
can
mean?
see what's way back there.
Yeah. The little.
Yeah.
But there's a reason it's in the rear view. There's a reason why it's behind you. You know what I mean? A lot of the things that we do, it's in the past. See, the thing about like these programs and whatnot is, the reason why they say We do not wish to shut the door on the past nor regret it. There's reason for that. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's behind you for a reason. You can't change it. Absolutely not. The only thing that you can do is live for today and hope for a better future. That's it. All we can do is work on today. You know what I mean? And it's like I've heard, at a meeting once, if you do just that much to better yourself that much every day than you were the day before, then you're winning. You know what I'm saying? And that to me is, that's what I strive for. If I can be a better person by just that much today than I was yesterday, I can go to sleep at night knowing that I did something good. Even if that's all it is that I did. Even if I don't get to help someone today, as long as I just do that much better to better myself today than I was the day before, every day, I can sleep good at night.
It's a good thing. Good thing. God, I know what's coming now. We don't you know what he's doing?
Yes,
I know
absolutely.
exactly
I hate to
what
think I
he's
didn't know what he was
doing.
doing.
Yeah, I was getting ready to try to skip over that
All
and be
right.
like,
I'll work on more beats, but we're going with this.
okay. Episode 4. Hope you enjoyed this and watch some more. Next time when we see you, I hope that you got it in store. G to the O to the D always seems to be the topic that we speak, and that is not unique. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? It's the Lord that I should be pursuing. That's all I got for today. It's time to go play some golf, okay?
Stop slamming the door.
They will get better, I promise. They will get better.
As will the podcast.
Yeah, the podcast
Absolutely.
keeps getting better and better and
Absolutely.
better. It's like cheese. Don't make it cheddar. Oh, what am I doing? I kept going. All right. That's enough, Sean.
All right, y'all.
So, another great episode. Episode 4. We're doing good. That's a month, ain't it?
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
a
that
month,
is a
you
month.
guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm excited
Absolutely.
about another.
I got a question.
Oh,
What's up?
we got an answer.
You know why 5 don't like 6?
Because 7, 8, 9.
Oh, what'd you steal it from me for?
Oh, I'm no thief.
I tried to
only
catch the
steal
fog
hearts.
yesterday. You know, I missed.
Well, I'm going to drive some balls, some golf balls today.
I
I'm excited
appreciate it.
about that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? I
appreciate
always
it.
wondered
Yeah.
if I would be good at
Glad
golf.
you elaborated.
Yeah, I
Dear
always wondered.
diary,
Yeah,
clarity
dear
is
diary.
key in my
Leave
recovery.
me alone, Sean.
So, if you don't like golf, have you tried frisbee golf?
I have
Or-
played.
or
I
disc
have
golf.
played frisbee golf,
That's fun.
and I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
If the course is good, you know, there
Yeah,
are some
yeah,
good courses
there's-
and some not so good courses.
Yeah, there's definitely, and there's also like a difficulty level. So I like the more difficult courses, except when you add water. You
Well,
know what I
they've
mean?
got. I mean, these guys are out there professionally
Yeah,
frisbee golfing.
Absolutely.
I just
do they
enjoy
have
it
courses
for.
with fire?
Pardon?
Sorry, what now?
What?
Do they have courses with fire?
Yeah, elaborate. You said water. Do they have? Oh, that would be cool, like a ring of fire to shoot the frisbee through. Wow.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. Possibly, I don't really know.
We would hope you wouldn't.
I wouldn't know.
That is the first principle.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's just something we could, you just try out. If you said you've done it before, but it's I like frisbee golfing. I like disc golfing. Yeah, for those of you that do know the professional term for that.
Oh,
It's called-
that's
it's called
the
disc
professional
golf.
term.
Yeah, it's called disc golf.
Disc golf.
Yes.
I've always heard it frisbee golf. I've never.
Yeah. That's
They're discs that you use because they have like different kinds and shapes.
I don't
and
see
weights.
the disc going very far if I try and hit it with the club. I couldn't get the ball to go very far with the club,
Wait, what?
but the disc,
you don't hit the disc.
No, not with a club.
You
Sean.
disc golf.
Yeah, you
Well,
frisbee.
Frisbee is a
It's
disc.
frisbee.
just put down the clubs and use the aluminum bat. It's a lot funner.
that's a whole nother sport.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
But
It's-
anyway,
it's fine.
so tune in next week to find out if I'm the new next Tiger Woods or if I just need to stick to putt putt.
Tiger Goods.
Tiger Hoods.
Geiger Toods.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Geiger Toods. I mean, Weiger Toods.
We're getting somewhere now.
Yeah.
Or going nowhere. We haven't figured it out yet.
I mean, it's okay to talk about sports figures, ain't it?
I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah, I would think it would be. I mean, you know, there are people everywhere doing it.
Yeah, I see. I feel like if as long as we're not
as long as we don't jump, man.
advertising anything,
Yeah.
we're okay.
I'm just talking about the wonderful shirts he wears. No, I'm not really. I'm really not. I'm not. Because I'm wearing this one.
Just don't do what he did.
You know, he's what made me watch golf, actually.
You know, I'll tell you like this right here. I'll play golf.
Were you held hostage?
I will. Yeah, that's what I was about to get at. Listen, I will play golf. I will go to a course. I will play golf. 18 holes, definitely. You put it on TV, and you lost me.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. I can't do it.
That individual made it watchable because he was so good. I wanted to see him either make it or break it.
I was right here. The only part of golf that I will watch is the 18th hole because it takes 8.5 hours to get to that point.
No.
If you put golf on the TV, you will watch it from 11 o'clock until maybe midnight.
No.
Absolutely.
No. They break it down into 2 days. The first 8 holes, and then the next day, then the last 8 holes. 9 holes. Whatever.
It's 99. But either way, that's my point. It takes that long to get there.
I am so fabulously intrigued by this conversation.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's intriguing.
Yeah,
That's
listen.
not very well execution of the first principle, and I apologize. I'll work on that. So I digress. Outside is calling me, like the power from time to time. We're out.
Tune in. Hey, like, share, subscribe, comment.
We love you
Please
guys.
comment, and when you comment, leave a grateful.
Yes.
Just one grateful.
The grateful is important.
And whether you like it or not, share it. Maybe somebody else does.
Please do share it.
Yeah.
We're trying to grow our subscribers.
If nobody's told you they love you today,
We do.
there's probably a reason for that, and maybe you need to work on that.
We love you guys. Like, share, comment,
great week.
subscribe. Have a good one. We'll see you again.
Hallelujah.